An incredible 364 days since Newcastle Red Bulls last won a Gallagher PREM Rugby match. Close to 3 years since Leicester Tigers were last beaten by the artists formerly known as the Falcons. Which way will this one turn? Tom Whiteley sends up the first box of the night. Commanding take from Ethan Grayson. And Sam Stewart playing ahead of the returning Benitez Cruz, scrum half for Newcastle tonight. The Argentine on the bench. Stewart back from an arm injury that ruled him out of 4 of the first 5 games. Alex Hell chopped down. Murray McCallum.
Ball's out. One more. Okay, use the ball.
Newcastle bottom of a lot of the attacking metrics this season. Chief among them in this part of the game, just 1 try in the opening 20 minutes of Gallagher PREM Rugby so far. They've conceded 10 across those 5 20-minute periods. Joe Hayes, who has cemented himself as England's starting tight head over the past month or so. 11 wins in succession now for Steve Borthwick's team.
Leicester already going to that box kicking game in the middle of the field. They have such good chasing wingers, and they get this first one back.
Stewart for space in the backfield. Yep, there you go. Covered by Ethan Grayson. Here's Serrell. Right foot diagonal. Coleman with a little juggle, but he has the time to pick his spot. And that, Ben, that's why Leicester kick. It's that field position they can generate.
Really good kick there from Searle. He saw the opportunity. He looked where the 2 members of the back 3 were stood. And the important thing is he found the artificial grass. You have to get it to bounce and kick on, and then you take away all the time. And that's what's forced a slightly worse kick. Leicester now get the first opportunity off a line-out.
Good contest.
This will be a Leicester penalty at worst here. Could hear the call from Hamish Snails, the assistant referee on the far side.
Thrown across and then play the arm.
It's actually with his outside arm that he ends up playing it, isn't it? He probably would have got away with the first bit of his inside arm targeting the ball. Gifting Leicester sort of position now. You'd imagine the Falcons would be aware that Leicester like to drive, particularly in that corner here at Kingston Park. It's a little bit breezy down there, a bit windier on that side of the field.
65% of Leicester trips to opposition 22 end in tries or penalties. This one will fall into the latter 35%. Bundled first line out.
You're inside. You're inside.
Watch him.
Okay, all done. Yeah, just leave it out. No. Wait here. Advantage over.
Just looking at the Falcons, they've got to take opportunities tonight, regardless of when they appear. Here's the first phase. Inside that square, there's 12 players. You've got Stewart out the back and then 1 defender out wide. That's the last 2 defenders. You've got to try and take those opportunities. There'll be few and far between this evening. Drop it out the back or put a kick into the backfield. Don't just go through the motions this evening.
Billy Searle dishing it up. Newcastle complaining of a possible neck roll on Amanaki Mafi. Saracock's not moved by their protests, and Hassel Collins with his first opportunity. Top try scorer in the Prem last season. James Thompson, the former chief and blue out in New Zealand's. And there's a penalty against Nicky Smith for clearing out Adam Brocklebank way beyond the ruck, and it's all getting a bit testy.
Just right, it just clears him too far, and it really didn't need happening. Leicester had such good momentum. It's a good carry from Thompson, wins the collision. You can stop there, you've done your job, but the leg drive keeps on going. He wants to put him on the ground, he wants to make it harder for him, so he's got to get back on his feet. Wasted opportunity for Leicester.
If you that again, I'll just switch penalty over, okay? Calm yourself down, please.
Wait for kick.
Thanks, John. Well done, mate.
Talking, Austin, about Newcastle's attacking structure. They've got Stephen Jones arriving from Moana Pacifica. He is here tonight. We've got a glimpse of him on camera earlier. What will they be looking for from their new attacking specialist?
Well, I think Jonesy was very accurate in his play. You know, he wasn't the quickest guy, he wasn't the fastest, most elaborate 10 we've ever seen in World Rugby, but boy, was he good, because he was really efficient. Very, very precise kicking game and his attacking game. He knew how to move defences around, and I think he'll try and impart that. But most of all, consistency and being precise.
Max Clark goes route one for the Red Bulls. Stewart, Maffey was the decoy. Inside instead to Freddie Lockwood. Clark. Conan stabbing it through, only against the mighty shins of Hanro Liebenberg.
By number 4, Leicester.
Conan retreating, ransacked by Liebenberg. The ball scooshing out the back, and Newcastle have to reload. Penalty Leicester. Lockwood done for holding on.
Fellas, get up,
Momentum
please.
swing, wasn't it? Newcastle, good attack, swept back round down the blind side, and that little half charge down cost them. Always under a lot of pressure.
Not that I saw.
A lot of their players have been retreating back to those breakdowns. Leicester can all move forward to it. I think kicking's going to be so important today, the quality of it. You look at who Leicester have got on their wings, but we talk a lot about those guys, but on the other wing, opposite Adam Radwan, is a guy who's one of the very best there's been in modern times in the air. You think if Conan can find him with a crossfield kick in Liam Williams, might be some opportunities for the Red Bulls too.
Billy Searle been quietly very effective for Leicester this season. Drained the last-minute penalty to St Bath, and he has shattered the deadlock here. Newcastle 0, Leicester 3.
Yeah, there's a lot of people will be saying Billy Searle, you've got Orlando Bailey, obviously James O'Connor to come back, but he's 92% off the floor so far this season.
Sorry if I've missed that.
And that is a points machine. That gives you consistency, and that gives you opportunity there, 45 metres, a little bit further out, to slot one. Just keep building the score. He's got a very good attacking game as well, hasn't he? Creates a lot of opportunities.
Yeah, nobody assisting more line breaks in this year's Gallagher PREM than Billy Searle. 10 of them, 2 per match.
You're taking that back in. You bring it back in. Use the ball.
Tom Whiteley couldn't put that directly into touch. Conan and Grayson standing guards. Newcastle pretty narrow here. Freddie Lockwood, no surprises, no disguising what he was up to. Stewards, Oscar Usher, one of these bright young local talents around which Newcastle will hope to build for the future.
Quite sure we're here.
Here's Liam Williams, his first go in the air. It's a bit short.
A late tackle coming in on Sam Stewart just after the box kick, which is the reason for the penalty.
Oh no, it was that there. Tackling line.
Yeah, he's just skied it, hasn't he? And then they both get into the catching zone way too early.
Just careful with the timing of those charge downs. Careful with the timing of the charge down.
2 cheap penalties from Leicester, haven't they? The first one when Nicky Smith cleared too far through, and then Cam Henderson really doesn't need to be doing that. He'd made his point, he'd made the scrum half sky it, and then he thought he'd leave a bit on him.
Newcastle's line-out marshalled these days by Scott McLeods, former Scotland international, former Newcastle man of many years, brought back into the club last season. A bit untidy from Usher to Sam Stewart, who plots a route through the heavies. Liam Williams going in at scrum half, and Amanaki Maffey breaching the 22 with some titanic leg drive. First time Newcastle have been in this red zone of the pitch. Christie. McGuigan, the captain, former Leicester Tiger himself. Stewart, Conan, Herald, dynamited. Big Leicester Tigers defence.
Liebenberg's had a big start for Leicester, a few big shots.
No touch, don't touch.
Grayson, flat pass for Maffey, who's asked to do the trundling again. Conan, Clark standing deeper. Grayson, caught ball and all by Ollie Hassel-Collins. Newcastle not making much headway here. Gone backwards 5 metres. As we hit 10 phases of attack. Williams won't get away from Hassel-Collins. Woodward's on him quickly, and Woodward wins the penalty. Symptomatic of Newcastle's attacking struggles.
I didn't get an impact.
Yeah, really sharp over the ball. The chop tackle was good. Williams nearly managed to swerve on the pass, and Will Wand, as soon as he hit the deck over the top, just Newcastle a little bit hesitant. Mate, you just wonder whether they know where they're going sometimes. They're just a little bit late to some of the carriers on the floor.
I think they make the carrying quite obvious. You're making the game quite confrontational. If you carry direct into contact like that, head down, you know you're going to hit contact. You watched Argentina play in the last few weeks. Quite a few times they don't go forward, they just wait for the defence to move and then they shift the ball, controlling the position of the defence, controlling the momentum of the game. If you're very, very direct, a defence will just be direct to you, but if you try and confuse them, it can make it much more difficult to make those big hits. They were good, weren't they, Argentina? Those games that we saw.
Penalty advantage here for the Tigers. As Searle, standing deep, throws the dummy. Conan, the 2 little 10s colliding.
Let's keep that mark for the boys.
And then the thunderous run from Stewart, propelling Leicester up towards the 22. Whiteley floating it wide. Radwan grubbering down the touchline. Radwan almost scooping it up again.
Yeah, so do you want that? Do you want that
some afters again between former and current Newcastle men.
Leicester had the advantage here. The referee's just asked whether they want the ball because it's their throw-in anyway on the 5-metre line. Liebenberg says, yes, I do, please.
Sorry, I didn't realise what you were asking me.
If that doesn't take the deflection, Radwan might just have backed himself there.
All 3 of Newcastle's back 3 today have played every minute of the Gallagher PREM so far. Stewart, Hassel-Collins and Radwan becoming an established and very, very effective trio. Liebenberg under pressure, grapples it down. Tommy Reffel pulling it back to Radwan, driving his legs to within a couple of metres. Thompson goes in. He's riding side saddle. It's there for the New Zealander. Thompson with a second propulsion, and the try is scored.
I've got him reaching for that.
A first try as a Leicester Tiger for James Thompson. We will check for a possible double movement. But Sarah Cox right now is happy that's a 5-pointer.
Yeah, the propulsion, it's whether his knee goes down before he goes again. Really good setup, look like they are driving, but Rafael bounces out. Radwan wins that collision on Conan.
No,
and then does his knee hit the floor before he goes again. And is it just a reach of the arm, the last little bit? There's his knee down. That's okay as long as he doesn't move forward. But does he move on his elbows?
I think he propels himself. Crawl. I think he propels himself here. If you look at his knee, I think his knee pushes through the toe from the other angle. They'll take a look. It's very close.
Billy Searle pops over the conversion.
Here we go. When's he down? Let's see his knee go down. He's down now. He's short. Now watch his feet. Yeah, I think
I'm not
that's
sure.
Well,
if it's anything, I think it's his right elbow that
propels him. Yeah, it's a crawl. It's a right elbow crawl, you're right.
I'm happy.
He's got away with it there.
So Leicester with a 2-score advantage. 15 minutes on the clock. Joe Hayes running hard into Murray McCallum.
Wait here. Use it!
No team launches more box kicks than Leicester Tigers, close to 70 of them in the Prem so far. It's an effective route out of their own 22, and they don't tend to chance their arm too much. Conan pops it down the middle. Here's Stewart.
Keep coming, just keep coming.
First proper look at Liam Williams. A great Welshman, two-time British and Irish line. This is his specialty. Didn't require too much of a leap for that one. And he's still going, Liam Williams, like a jack in the box. And Stewart gets the ball almost caught between his knees.
No. You've brought him into his feet. Yep. Stop. Hey, fellas. Stop. Sorry. Come on.
Christie.
Okay, all done. Good timing here.
Conan again,
Take him back.
opportunity to kick. He put a little too much on that one. Stewart's waiting. Stewart liked that mismatch against McGuigan, but Hooker does enough.
He's found his mojo against Stewart, hasn't he?
Will one absolutely smashed, and then Grayson gets onto it. Hassel Collins with a tackle.
Okay,
It's on Bailey, wasn't it? The tackle was a big old shot.
Okay, no, it's not. No.
It's another skied one.
In the 10.
Christie slapping it back.
Oh, you've knocked it on.
The upshot is a Newcastle scrum.
What the Red Bulls do get from those shorter kicks is they take Stewart's aerial ability out of the game because he can't come 30 yards forward to take it. But then you have got to pick up those secondary bounces, those crumbs around the floor. Maybe getting a foot on it, hoofing it through a little bit, trying to get territory that way. Equally, it can bounce straight into Leicester Tigers' hands and he can go the length. So, for me, it's not a great tactic.
Do we need to look at this thing?
It's not something Newcastle have used an awful lot. Not kicking contestably much at all, but when they have done, they've won a lot of those balls back. And Sarah Cox wants a
upright tackle.
A closer look at a potential head-on-head here. It's on Ethan Grayson as Hassel Collins came in.
There's no contact there with his head. Hits him on the side, on the elbow.
Clear head contact there.
Gets done by the step of Grayson, doesn't he? He's expecting Grayson to carry running forward. And that's why he pulls his head up and goes upright to try and create space, overrun it. But I don't think there is any head contact, is there?
No, there's no head contact, there's no penalty.
Yeah.
Let's get on with it.
The screen's not good enough for us to be able to see if there is direct head contact or head contact at all at the moment. So can you confirm that? We need to see.
There is. Yeah.
So clear head contact here.
Shoulder and chest, is there?
I've got left shoulder to, sorry, green right shoulder to head.
Yeah, okay.
No, that's wrong.
It looks like the
That's
majority of
absolutely
that
wrong.
force is going through the chest
Agreed.
first, isn't it? Yeah. So we'll just work it through. We do have head contact. It
There's
is
no
foul play
head
because that
contact
player
there.
could be lower.
I'm sorry, in
At
this
the moment, I'm seeing
situation.
that as a yellow card.
Oh, wow.
Because, yeah, the degree of danger is low. Yeah.
It's not even
You
a
happy with
penalty.
that?
Yes.
Doesn't even touch him. I mean, they're watching different pictures.
Looks worse from that angle, but it's from behind. You don't
Yellow?
see the depth.
Yeah, okay,
but that
back to me, Dean.
secondary angle, there was a gap
Okay.
between the shoulder and the head.
So we do have head contact. It
We
is
don't.
foul play
It's not.
because that player is upright.
He
The
isn't.
degree of danger at the moment is not high, so it's a yellow card for me. Dean, can you just confirm the number of that player, please? 14, yeah?
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so it's a yellow card at the moment. He needs to be lower. There is head contact.
Dean Richards has called that in as head contact. He's seen it on
Number
the
11.
screen. On seeing that on repeated occasions, he should just say, sorry, I've made a mistake.
11.
There's no head contact. Let's get on with the game.
Well, the officials are convinced that there was head contact, that right shoulder of Ollie Hassel Collins against the head of Ethan Grayson. And Hassel Collins, second time in as many matches here, is off the kick his heels for 10 minutes.
Pavarotti's time to say goodbye as he leaves the field.
I wonder if they'll play that if a Red Bull gets the yellow.
They'll be playing that for you when you're heading to the car park later.
There's no head contact.
There is no head contact, but Ollie Hassel Collins is upright. He's put himself in that position. Is there any defence for that?
Yeah, because he hadn't touched his head. There's your defence. It's like walking past
We're
a
trying
car.
to encourage players to tackle lower.
It's like a Scouser walking past a car and you're saying, I'm a Scouser, I'm going to rob it, and I haven't touched the car.
In amongst all that, Adam Radwan's on his bike, but there was a Leicester Tigers knock-on that led to it.
He's up for it, Radwan, isn't he? Try-scoring machine. Didn't get the ball as much as he should have up here, did he? And I think he's shown that since he's got to Leicester. Look at that, 15 tries in 17 Prem games. It's an amazing record.
He averages a try every 89 minutes of Prem Rugby this season. Just a remarkable finisher. He's more than that, though, isn't he, Austin? Jeff Parling-Green to talk up his all-round game, his ability to compete in the air, to pick up those crumbs you were talking about.
And Drico was saying it before, to think that he's 8th, 9th, or maybe even 10th in the pecking order for wingers. It's bizarre. There's some great wingers in England, but he's got to be in the top 5, hasn't he? His all-round game's improving, defensively very strong. I think a very similar player to Arundel in a lot of ways.
I've not picked up on anything yet.
Exceptionally strong.
Would you have him in the squad above Henry Arundel? Current form?
It's so tough for Borthwick and the rest of the coaches. And you've just...
the one thing I was surprised by
Are we putting someone on,
is I think he's really Borthwick's sort of player. All the little stuff he does off the ball, how he always competes for, you know, defensively and jackling over the ball. That's the thing that you know, Steve Borthwick likes, that sort of player, or you get the impression he does.
Yeah, you haven't got anyone on.
Right, James Thompson has gone off for a head injury assessment. Harry Wells, there he is, was supposed to be coming on. I don't think anybody had told him. Word from our staff prowling the touchline is that he'd nipped to the gents. But he is duly relieved and off the pitch for James Thompson. I hope so too. Probably easier to clean up a plastic pitch than a grass one, right enough.
Okay, let's start building, fellas.
Let's go then, let's get excited. Let's go. I've got you guys. Let's go then, Buckers.
Just seeing where he binds there, Ben. Interesting at the second row. I'm not sure whether he leaves his hand there, but he's binding on the shoulder. I thought you always bound under each other's armpits in the second row. Look at Wells' left arm now, where he binds onto Henderson. Looks like he binds onto his top of his shoulder. I've never seen that before. I thought they go under the arms in the row.
If you're strong enough and you think you can pull there, the only reason you'd go under the shoulder is to pull your partner in a bit closer. But equally, you've also your main bind and where you've got to stay with your prop at all times, really, particularly on that right-hand side. That's the harder side to scrummage on. It's where you want your most ballast.
So the next question is then, if you're not pulling in your other second row partner, why don't you bind onto the hooker?
Well, you are. You still have to stay connected.
Well, I know with your shoulder, but with your hand. I don't know why I'm that interested, to be honest. I don't know why I started the conversation, but I always saw second rows bind almost around the hip.
You also want the hooker to be free enough that he can strike for the ball, not necessarily on the opposition ball, obviously, but.
A rare scrum penalty for Newcastle.
I said Radwan was up for it. Oz Brocklebank definitely up for it. A couple of little scuffles, throwing himself around physically, and now a big scrum penalty to match. And can Newcastle take this first real opportunity from a line out deep in Leicester's territory?
Leicester don't tend to allow opponents easy access to their 22. Fewest opposition entries of any Gallagher PREM team this season, just 37 of them, averaging out around 7 per match.
They've swapped.
Newcastle will feel they have to make the most of these positions.
Good timing.
Usher won it for them, but Leicester and the long levers of Smith coming through before Lockwoods carries Blamire back. Thundering into the referee. Christie around the corner. Sam Stewart and Brett Conning whipping the forwards into position. McGuigan has a shot. Helped out by McCallum. Hodgson waits. Christie flanking him. Penalty advantage to Newcastle. Stewart, Maffey, just the man you want in those positions. Still it's there for the Red Bulls. Lockwood around the corner. Still no clear grounding. Maffey's eyeing this like a kid on Christmas morning. Brocklebank leaves it. Stewart, Conan sending it wide, and Grayson can coast in untouched. Newcastle make the extra man pay, and Newcastle strike back.
That's great combination play between Conan and Grayson. Comes off as soon as Leicester get too narrow because of the bombardment of the line. The call comes in, Maffey reaches for it, doesn't get there. They don't panic. And then they have three players in tight there. Williams is the trigger. That's who takes Freddie Stewart's eye line, Liam Williams. And he races thinking it's going to go out the back to him, and Conan throws it over the top of his head. And as soon as he's made that call and Grayson runs that line, he's never going to be able to recover. Really smart option from Conan, and good manipulation of the Leicester defence from all those decoy runners in the backfield as well.
First Gallagher PREM try for Ethan Grayson. And Brett Conan with over 500 points for Newcastle. Adds a couple more, 10 points to 7.
I think it's really good from Conan as well, because if you watch his eye line, look, he looks once, he looks twice. Now watch his eyes, he's only looking at Stewart. He doesn't care where the support is. All he knows is he's got to throw the ball over Stewart's head, and he puts it on a plate. That's the first Christmas present dished out to his back three. Great piece of rugby.
Stephen Jones will be eyeing this with interest. He officially starts on Monday, but he flew in from Auckland from Moana Pacifica. Super Rugby duties through the week, and is here to take in proceedings. Meanwhile, Leicester again using their aerial skills to great effect, and Nicky Smith bouldering through the middle. Oh, they're going all the way here. It's Morrow, the Argentine, sneaking around the fringes and exploiting some tame Red Bulls defence. Within seconds, Leicester reassert their supremacy.
Well, Leicester get back 59% of contestable kicks. And this one's crucial. You've just given away a try. They kick over the top of one of the very best in the air, and Radwan wins it back. And then look at that, the effect that has on the defence. They're all coming in from the side. They're all trying to match up numbers on either side. And it's the spot from Morrow that people have overfolded. The guard has overfolded. He's more worried about the ball going wide, and he just picks and ducks underneath. And he's always going to have the pace. If you break there, it's the worst place to defend and be beaten on a rugby field right next to the ruck. So difficult to recover from.
Third try in 2 matches for Joaquin Morrow. Couple against Northampton in the Prem Cup. Serrell bangs over the rest.
Tries like that are about detail at the ruck. You watch what Cam Henderson does. Watch the clear out. He's coming in here. Oh, it's not Henderson. Yes, it is. No, it's Wells. See, he gets McGuigan. McGuigan arguably would have stepped out of that ruck, slide to the side and defend. It's a really good example of making sure you keep hold of someone that could have been a defender really close to the tackle area. He's done a very good job there.
Just wonder, earlier on in the game, we saw the penalty against Nicky Smith because he was desperate to get Brocklebank on the floor. I just wonder whether that's something that Leicester have spotted. Said, get as many of their players on the floor around the breakdown. There are opportunities through the middle.
Here's Grayson. Back for a second stint in the Toon. He's here on a short-term injury cover before heading off to the MLR. Back on a permanent basis now. Lockwoods, another one of the local crop here. Christie. Probing that blind side. Conan, delay on the pass. Herrell's done so well to hold that on his bootlaces. Radwan almost pilfering it back for Leicester. McCallum. Conan. Usher. Grayson. Nice interplay to Spencer. And now Maffey raising a gallop down the touchline. Excellent cover tackle from Tom Whiteley, and Leicester win the penalty, and Tom Whiteley celebrates like he's scored. No surprising who wins the ball.
Just celebrating that he's still alive, having flown himself in at Maffey's ankles and made a brilliant tackle. Connor's been good. He's got such variation to his game now. Leicester have kept the ball on the field.
Newcastle took that penalty quickly, looking for a big territorial gain against the disorganised defence. Williams can't get hold of big Freddie Stewart. Again, Nicky Smith and Adam Brocklebank engaged in their own private wrestling match as Henderson carries for the Tigers. Whiteley and Searle. A bit more passive on the defensive side from Newcastle. Morrow.
Just a little bit unlucky there. Henderson
Extra roll with
was trying to follow in and got taken out by the tackled player that was rolling on the floor. No penalty to be given there, but just meant they were fractionally late to clear out on Morrow, and we know that the likes of Christie
you're all right.
and everyone else, as
I'm
Brian
not sure
was saying,
or he gets my attention quite the same way.
when you bring someone new into a team, sometimes you can just elevate. You see how they operate, they elevate how everyone else is competing on the floor. Razor sharp from the Red Bulls.
Yeah, sure. At the moment, I don't think
Oh, Hassel Collins is back with us. 7 points apiece scored during his 10-minute spell on the northeast step.
You happy? I'm going to put time back on. You all good?
Yeah, I think so.
Interesting times these for both coaches. Alan Dickens peering out of his greenhouse intently.
Come on. Extra roll.
Not sure what the future holds for him either. He's contracted to the end of the season like the vast majority of the playing squads. No assurances as yet given by the Red Bulls hierarchy that he is the guy for the long term. He is the figurehead. Stephen Jones coming in, as we mentioned. They're looking to recruit more members of that coaching staff imminently. Stewart wanted to release that pass, but Cam Henderson was up in his crosshairs very quickly, making sure he couldn't. McGuigan has ferreted his way through. Stewart and Hodgson.
No, don't touch your 9!
Here's Max Clark. Again, swallowed by some venomous Leicester defence. Usher. There's Colin. Oh, he slammed the meat in a Leicester sandwich. Maffey looking to change the narrative, but he too has his reverse lights flashing.
Into him. Use it.
And making little headway. Sam Stewart whacks it skywards. Clark leading the charge, but it's Orlando Bailey who comes up with the match ball.
Too long, too long. No, you're pinning him in there. Let the ball come out. Okay, just make sure you hear. Use it.
Maffey's come a long way for this. He's taken it well. Newcastle look to come again through Freddie Lockwood. Again, double tackles from the Tigers defenders.
You're inside. Use it.
Neither team looking to play too much ball in hand stuff in this middle third of the pitch. Longer kick from Stewart onto Stewart. Tom Christie deals with him. Newcastle on it quickly to slow things up. Morrow and Blameyer.
Okay, all done, Newcastle. Yes, please. Use it.
Nobody's taken one of these box kicks clean yet, have they? Leicester gone for a much longer one this time. Grayson will just pump it back, won't he?
Keep coming.
It's like a game of chess, this.
Keep coming back.
You can see why Newcastle are keen to kick long to Stewart, because he has been trying to run the first one back.
Keep going.
And they think that they can catch him in behind his forwards.
Okay, come back.
Searle
No,
again
Joe,
with
stop,
a lot
stop.
of distance on that. Liam Williams looking for space in the backfield, finds it down the middle.
Inside.
Serve to touch, and everybody can take a breather.
It's a new ball, so we're not going quick. Hello.
Numbers, please. Go, guys, numbers.
Cool.
Numbers.
The HIA failed, just stay on, okay?
What you want, Pop?
Hearing word that James Thompson has failed his head injury assessment, so Harry Wells will be with us for the duration of this match. Oscar Usher wins another Newcastle line-out. He couldn't take that. Corner with little option, but to run into some of the heaviest men on the pitch. Usher.
Use it!
Stewart kicks to compete. He's got Liam Williams after it, but Stewart bosses that exchange. And now it's Leicester possession. And Gino Meyer. Searle. Loose pass. Herald picks it up beautifully. How has he held on to that?
No, leave it!
Newcastle looking to move through the gears. Stewart, Grayson trying to thread the kick through. It's not going to work for him. But there is a penalty coming Newcastle's way. Leicester offside.
Never gets back onside.
Right, let's bring in the Newcastle Red Bulls senior coach, Alan Dickens. Alan, are you satisfied enough with what you're seeing? What do you want to see your team improve?
No, I think we've talked a lot about managing the middle third of the pitch. Look, it was good to get that first score, but disappointing then to concede straight away from the kick-off. But look, we put them under a lot of pressure. We're playing into a bit of a breeze this first half, so pretty positive.
You're kicking to compete a lot, perhaps more than we've seen you do in this season so far. Is that a definitive tactic? Is that something you plan for this match?
No, it's something we always talk about. I think certainly in this first half, the breeze is certainly helping that. It's the way we're playing, the ball's holding up in the air, and as you said there, we're able to get up and compete.
We've given Tom Christie a heck of a build-up to this match. How impressed have you been with your shiny New Zealander?
Hey, I was impressed before the game, so I'll have to ask you that question. What are your thoughts?
Ben, Austin, your thoughts on Tom Christie?
I think he's been good.
I think a lot of the players have been good over the ball and the breakdown. I think Maffey's the guy that has been rattling the numbers in terms of ball carries at the moment. But yeah, I'm sure Christie will work his way into this game more.
He's top of the tackle chart with 6.
Yeah. Look, I think as well there's a lot of competing on the floor. We've got Rafael, Blamir, and
Alan Topman, thank you for your time. Hopefully we answered your questions about Tom Christie's performance tonight. Back to a single score match. 7 points in it after Connaughton's penalty. And Leicester have put that straight out, so Newcastle scrum on halfway.
Not a great start, that, is it? But I think Chico made a really good point, actually, in the build-up to the game about building a side around one superstar. And I think actually the only position you can do that on the pitch is probably fly half. I don't know if you think any different, maybe a 9. I mean, they've got an amazing
9 in your 10, who are you going to go and recruit? Do you choose the style you want to play first?
Well, could you get Carreras out of his Bath contract? I doubt it, not in his 3rd year, that's for sure.
Well, it is exciting for Newcastle to consider the possibilities here. They're going to spend up to the salary cap next season. Johnny Petrie talking a big game about where he thinks this club can go, and quite quickly as well. From everything we hear inside the club, Ben, it's that the players they're recruiting are international level. They're not squad fillers. They're not there to compete with what's there already. They're there to replace it. What's the most urgent area where you'd be looking to recruit?
It's as I said in the build-up, it's getting that balance right, because yes, you want a couple of superstars, but you also want, obviously Adam Radwan was here, but the amount of times he's going to play for Leicester this season is going to be crucial. If he can perform at that level, you almost want those rising stars that haven't quite made it to international yet, but are probably international quality. If you and Alex Sanderson's been very vocal this week. You know, people know that Sale have got a bit of money to spend, and he says that the agents and some of the players are starting to take the mick, and that could happen, you know, very much to Newcastle. They could be desperate for a couple of players, and their agent knows they're desperate and knows they're backed by Red Bull, and the number's a bit silly. But let's remember that bar one player, you've got to stay within a salary cap, so you don't want three superstar players and actually you can never get them the ball on the front foot because you haven't got the quality elsewhere. So that's the jigsaw that needs putting together. They also need to manage, and people forget this, it's fine for the next couple of years, but you also need to manage contract cycles. You don't want all those superstars coming up for a contract renewal at the same time, otherwise you've got to start again. So it's sort of building that phase. This year, who are we going for? Right, 2 years' time, who are we going for?
And supplementing all that with the investment they're trying to put into the academy to keep producing the Adam Radwans, the Callum Chicks, the Oscar Ushers. Amanaki Mafi, 35 years old, but still full of running and vigour. Adam Brocklebank.
We're all done. No, you're all done.
Nick Connon pointing to the left. Mafi and Clark zipping it across to Williams. Mafi, his third involvement in so far a 4-phase move. Connon. Hodgson thought about slipping it inside, maybe wished he had because Handel Liebenberg rearranged his ribcage. Connon and Clark, options on the wide outside. It's a lovely pass to Spencer, who kicks it off the face of Searle. Usher popping it up to Clark again. Newcastle recover it. Brocklebank. A bit more continuity, a bit more fluency about Newcastle in this period of the match. Pearl again looking to the edge early, and Tom Christie into Radwan, using his power. Radwan tosses him to ground. Lockwood, Connon, need interplay this. Upright challenge from McGuigan. Second time in this game that Newcastle have hit 10 phases. Not going to hit 11 because Grayson quite intelligently has probed it deep into the 22.
Ball bounced to him unexpectedly, and he found that space, saw Freddie Stewart racing to the right and put it behind him.
Mafi shifting through the gears. There's a collision for you. Mafi and Stewart, meeting of muscle.
Just watching Stewart in the backfield just to see if he's given the shoulder a shake, but no.
Handel Liebenberg has charged it down, and then a cultured grubber kick, which 1, 2, 3, 4 Tigers are after. It's the Grayson with little option.
That's the fourth kick through by the Red Bulls that Leicester have blocked and put Newcastle under pressure off the back of it. Liebenberg's been at the heart of this quite a few times. This time it's a charge down rather than a block on the floor. But once they get in behind, they're putting massive pressure on the home side. Just wonder whether, A, Newcastle look at their accuracy in the kicking and make sure they're not getting those kicks blocked, or try and find a different solution.
Two minutes of the first half remaining, and the Myers chucked it straight to Oscar Usher.
I think that should be a penalty, maybe against Leicester, because although it was Leicester's throw, it's cleanly won, and wonder whether the jumper was pulled down.
Just a little bit quicker with you guys, yeah?
Just holds his ground at the front. Blamire doesn't put quite enough on it. Just the hand from Liebenberg on Usher's shoulder. Maybe the lift disappears underneath him.
In the air, it's taking out our lifters was the issue.
Not for me.
One thing that anyone can do, Jamie, is work hard. You have a kick blocked and then you get a kick through. Now watch the backfield.
Yeah, no worries.
Right? Grayson's chasing. You know he's going to be under pressure. You've got 9 guys there that could accelerate significantly quicker and get back to help him. He's got no option. He's got 4 Tigers in behind him, and you've got 9 guys walking.
Dean, if there is anything in that line,
I wouldn't be that happy if I was a fullback.
I don't think there is.
Presumably Alan Dickens won't be that happy either, watching that 38 minutes into the match. Blamire just about finds his man this time. under duress again.
No. Not when he was there.
Whiteley, Bailey, the second playmaker. Into Want. Lamire injecting the pace, but again, Lamire's handling, whether it's throwing lineouts or giving passes, not quite as slick as you would expect.
He does that well, Billy Sell, doesn't he? Pumps the ball, and then he's got the acceleration over that first 3 yards also to normally get to the outside or the backside of the tackle.
He's in the walls, isn't he? Yeah. You ready? Oh, yeah, I was just checking him. He got a boot to the eye.
That's where most of those assists come from.
Fellas, you all ready? Yeah, let's start building them. Come on.
It's rare for Leicester to make that many handling errors. They've got the lowest offloading of any side in the Prem.
Handling errors and line-out attacking throws have been the issue for them in this half, hasn't it? That'll be
Come on,
what
fellas, let's build up, please.
Brett Deacon,
I'll put time
Pete
off.
Hewitt
otherwise
will
come
be
on. Let's start
talking to
building.
their charges about at half-time.
Let's get one.
But also, I think you'd be saying, look, we've got Hassel Collins and Radwan on the wings. And between them, they've touched the ball 3 times. And I presume 2 of those are from kicks. So let's try and create some width, guys. Maybe that's for the second half.
Final play of the first 40, and Amanaki Mafi puts his size 14 Gilberts through that one and says that's enough. It's all getting a bit messy down there. This really, the first 40 minutes in microcosm. Lots of big men wrestling with each other. The upshot, though, at the interval is a lead for the Leicester Tigers. Tries from Thompson and from Morrow. One in response from Ethan Grayson. And it's the Tigers who have the advantage. Half-time at Kingston Park. Newcastle Red Bulls 10, Leicester Tigers 17. Welcome back, everybody. No changes to tell you about for either side at half-time. Leicester in command. Haven't lost this fixture since January 2023. 45-26 win here for Newcastle. Mateo Carreras, the little Argentine, scoring a hat-trick that day. Scoring tonight for Newcastle, Ethan Grayson, who makes the first carry of the second 40. Maffey trundles it up further. Jamie Hodgson has been an influential addition from the Bristol Bears, the Scotland lock signed over the summer. Swiftly elevated to part of the leadership group here. Stewart again with something of an awkward lob wedge of a kick. Nobody can take it. And eventually Liam Williams, the bomb diffuser himself, gets onto it, wasn't held. Usher, 21-year-old lock from Northumbria University, wasn't even part of the Newcastle Academy until they picked him up last season. Come on, lads, is the cry for Murray McCallum. Frustration for Newcastle. Obstruction penalty.
I mentioned in the first half, just sometimes a little bit of hesitation and confusion when Newcastle are attacking. Just who's going, who's the primary runner, who's the runner in behind. Liam Williams just struggling with his right knee.
Still harbours a desire to get back in that Wales squad. Liam Williams, 7 cuts short of 100. 34 years of age now. Was signed by Steve Diamond over the summer. Bit of a chance meeting on their respective holidays at the same Mallorca resorts. Had a quick chat by the pool. A few weeks later, Liam Williams is here doing his medical.
He's gone for it.
Oh, Grayson almost keeping that in, but doesn't land in the field of play.
Mate, sorry. Yeah, I thought so. I couldn't find you.
He's probably quite happy this one wasn't given. Ball has to land before his feet.
Leicester have only scored one maul try, Gallagher PREM this season, despite having more mauls in the 22 than any other team. Whiteley sniping, and then it goes forward through the fingers of Bailey, and Newcastle through Williams look to make some inroads from their own 22. Stewart tracking back. He's got Hassel Collins with him.
Keep going.
Conan. Thought about the kick, then realised there was a lot of space to exploit, and Conan away from the bruisers. Spencer on his outside. Spencer coughs it up.
Well, he looked up, really good scanning, had loads of time because the kick chase wasn't particularly good. And that means he sees Harry Wells, Liebenberg together. He thinks, I can get in that gap between Liebenberg, who's had to race out, try and track Ollie Spencer. And unfortunately, once they both got in behind, they couldn't hold the ball.
It's Nicky Smith, isn't it, who's trying to make up the space inside Liebenberg there.
We're not really
It's a good play.
So we need to be better at doing that, yeah? So hold on to that mark, get your height as well, please.
I think that's on more times than the back three give it opportunity. We very rarely see that switchback play, particularly if you kick inside the 15 or the 5. You throw a pass to the midfield and then try and cut back to the short side and isolate one of the slower front 5 guys. It's quite easy to do if you do it right. But then the trade-off is, if you get tackled, you'd normally get turned over, so high risk, high reward.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
First Leicester put in for Tom Whiteley. And Leicester attack, and they win the penalty.
Been a real strength forward in the scrum this season.
Again, John.
Consider the fewest penalties, just 10 so far in 6 games at scrum time.
It's on this side. McCallum adjudged to have stepped out with his hips. I'm not sure whether Nicky Smith didn't go through and underneath him, but because Leicester were going forward, they tend to get rewarded.
Stephen Lyle, Cumbrian boy, was the player of the match the last time Newcastle won a league match 364 days ago against Saracens here. He was soon sent a deal to move to Leicester next season.
One sideways. Yeah, stay bound.
Whiteley into the skies. Ori Hassel-Collins and Orlando Bailey leading the chase. Bailey gets the ricochet on the second ball. Whiteley goes back from where it came, looking for the big men, looking for his captain Liebenberg. Whiteley again, Tommy Reffel swerving away from the tackles. Searle, we'll be hearing from Leicester scrum coach Neil Foulkes in just a moment or two, but let's see where this attack goes first. Bailey shackled on the 22. Whiteley looked left, went right. Morrow the try scorer. Lamar.
Tackle.
Searle. Bailey. Stewart in the line, injecting the pace and the power. Highest face count we've seen Leicester string together in the game so far. Henderson, soft hands to Nicky Smith. Christie got him. Whiteley, Searle, willing runners everywhere. Searle took it alone. Quick ball for Leicester. Whiteley just couldn't hit Radwan, and instead Max Clark is unleashing Grayson. Hassel-Collins is tearing after him. Hassel-Collins brings him down by the shirt tails. Have a seat. Hurl, Lockwood. Tommy Reffel trying to slow it. Stewart, Christie looked outside him, only saw Adam Brockleback in the inside centre
Had
position.
to go wide there. They had 4 on 2. Chance here.
Clark, another charge down. That's the 5th that Newcastle have suffered, and it does go forwards. And let's head down pitch side and have a chat with it. A very patient Neil Foulkes. Neil, that passage of play, almost summing up the game, it's been extremely scrappy. Neither side really able to maintain a flow of momentum. What were your key messages at half-time in the sheds?
Look, at half-time we spoke about playing the game as much as we can in Newcastle's half, through our kick game and our aerial contest game. And look, we were also really happy with our collisions that first half. You know, we caused Newcastle a lot of problems at the defensive ruck, slowed their ball down and made it into the stodgy affair you're talking about.
You've done a heck of a lot of defending in that first half, Neil. I think double the number of tackles that Newcastle have had to make. What do you need to do to get hands on ball and start stressing them a bit more, building some phases?
Well, I think firstly, if we can turn some of that defence into some try-scoring defence in terms of our fire and making sure we get forward and off the line hard and we're firing, we turn some ball over and create some turnover opportunities to really catch Newcastle as they're resetting into their line.
And continuing on that theme, Neil, Adam Radwan, a very fondly remembered son of these parts. Just the one carry for Rathers tonight. How do you get more ball into his hands? Because goodness me, his numbers, his stats, his line breaks, frightening for you. Yeah,
he's had a really good start to the season for us. Tonight he might be chasing kicks and getting the ball back for us that way in the air.
Neil, thank you for your time. We appreciate it as always.
No problem.
Just on
Jamie.
Yeah, one of his major strengths is off the crossfield kick, and Hassel Collins has been good on that. We haven't seen much of that from Leicester. It's done a lot of chasing the box kicks from the middle third of the field, but just wonder if they can narrow up Newcastle, whether there's more opportunities as the game goes on.
I think the main reason why the wingers aren't touching the ball is the way that Searle plays. He plays on a slide all the time, so if he plays on the slide, he cuts off, not through his own fault, the ball out the back. I'll show you in a sec what I mean. But sometimes the style of play of the 10 can dictate how wide you can play.
Green platform for Leicester again. Searle is melted. He wasn't sliding, he was slamming onto the floor.
I didn't realise you grabbed that back, sorry.
That is going to sting in the morning.
Don't let them show it hurt.
No, it wasn't that bad. He gets tipped a little bit, he's fine. Just a minor fracture.
Yeah, Max Clark, an abrasive defender, that's what he can do.
That's what I was talking about before, Jamie. So the link between Searle there at 1 and then Orlando Bailey at 2 is inside centre, also a great distributor. Gets blocked off, look at the angle. So all the players now, because he slides to the outside, he can't stand and distribute the ball and behind. That means the two guys in the backfield, you get Radwan and Hassel Collins there, aren't touching the ball.
Let's see what Billy Searle can conjure here. Introducing Radwan on first phase. Alex Herrell with a tackle on him.
It's different there because he's not first receiver. When he's first receiver, it's very difficult for him to get the ball out the back.
Searle shipping it on to Hayes, who dummied the pass to Henderson. What an autumn Joe Hayes has had for Steve Borthwick in England. Bailey, two-man tackle, he's run into a large, meaty Scotsman in Murray McCallum.
But I think you saw the difference there of Bailey's body shape. He's very perpendicular, he's very straight. You watch the next time Searle touches it, he slides.
Awkward one for Ethan Grayson, that ball bobbling and weaving in the Tyneside gusts.
Use it!
Still doesn't feel like either side has taken a real commanding, decisive grip on this contest. Leicester have numbers off to the right here. Nicky Smith opts to truck it up into Hodgson. Good yardage made by the Welsh loosehead. Searle, Bailey, Hassel Collins, around Clark, introducing Stewart, narrowing up the defence. Warns, suspicion of a high tackle from Conan, and Liam Williams had his hands on the floor before they went for that.
No, straight off. Yeah. Stay up.
Good from Hassel Collins there, just a little bit of an outside hitch and tempted Conan to come in off the wing. Just freed up some space on the outside. I feel this is a big moment. Leicester missed a lot. Here's the Hassel Collins, a little bit of movement that just tempts the outside defender to step in, creates that 2-on-1 on the outside, and Liam Williams tries to fix it on his own, comes straight over the top. I think it's just because his hands go past the ball initially, isn't it? Actually stayed on his feet well.
Another line out for Leicester that's not going to plan, and George McGuigan sticks the instep through it. What a touch finder this could be.
Third line out
Looks
loss.
like a shank. George McGuigan, it's bend it like Beckham stuff. Bend the line
Third line out loss in the 22. That's the crucial thing. When Leicester have got their perfect field position to attack from. They've not been able to hit their darts, and McGuigan delighting in that and getting a big, just wanting a couple of extra revolutions, get the 50-22.
They're on their mark. They're okay. You're doing the get out.
Better lineup from Leicester, and there's a penalty for a bit of interference on Harry Wells.
No. Out you come. That'll do. Out you go. Up you go. Out you go. Come on. Whoa.
It's 5 penalties in a row.
I
Newcastle
will speak to
conceded.
them. Right, hang on. Stay here. Go on the mark. Lads, let's not just celebrate over the top of people. Let's move out of the way, and then we'll get out of the way of that.
Right, Leicester are going to have another line out here then. What's been going wrong for them at set piece time?
Henry, it's really hard for me to do something about
There's been
when we start
a
these
couple of
little
overthrows,
stuff,
but
so if you deal
possibly
with that,
that's a timing thing rather than actually the throws in the wrong place. Charlie Clare on now.
And Charlie Clare's first job will be to throw into this line-out, and Simon Benitez Cruz, the marquee addition from Argentina, played such a big part for the Pumas over the Rugby Championship and the Quilter Nation Series on its scrum half. Change of hooker doesn't change the outcome.
What you saw there, Wells didn't get full height, so although Charlie Clare will probably get the blame in most people's eyes, his jumper wasn't where he thought he was going to be.
Liam Williams surging off the touchline.
No, you're off feet now.
Slowed that up well, didn't get the decision he wanted. Conan, Hodgson, oh, that's a disguised pass, and Lockwood's piercing the line. Benitez Cruz immediately injecting some tempo. Newcastle finding some way through. Usher crashing and bashing and introducing the king of crash in these parts, Amanaki Mafi. Brocklebank. Conan had to get that away quickly and did. Lockwood again. Another important defensive moment from Wand. Grayson.
Forward.
That looked a bit forward. Liam Williams gets absolutely battered by Tom Whiteley. A couple of big shots to scrum half. Stewart now skirting away from Hodgson. Nicky Smith may have impeded the tackle of Hodgson.
No, we all just get tangled up.
Charlie Clare into Benitez Cruz. Over 130 games for the Tigers now, the hooker, the stalwart.
Use it.
Here's Conan.
Out you come.
Good distance on that. Grayson just can't get there, but Stewart, what a rare error. And what a touch from Lockwood. It's Lockwood against Whiteley. The scrum half wins the race.
The advantage was over from that knock-on.
The advantage was over. Newcastle take the throw.
Well, there's mistakes everywhere, isn't there? Even when you're not expecting it. The kick's a little bit too far. Stewart takes his eyes off it ever so slightly. I mean, you do not see that every day of the week, do you? And to be fair to the Red Bulls, they nearly capitalise on it. Lockwood's been good, hasn't he? He's been active all across the field, really urgent.
No, I know, it's not very good, is it?
I wish John would stop giving calls that you've already got.
Yes, please, mate, yeah.
He looks like a player transformed again, Ben, Freddie Stewart. He'd lost his place in that England squad. Marcus Smith, George Furbank preferred at 15, but he's really come into his own again, hasn't he?
He'd just lost all his confidence, hadn't he? The things that set him apart had started to wane, and it was just a hesitation thing. But what's probably been most impressive, I think, is his carrying. He's such a big specimen of a human, but he's breaking tackles, he's running hard. He's never going to be your out-and-out gas in the wide channels, but he's still making good yardage.
I think that's what caused it, though. There was a lot of talk, wasn't there, in the media and around rugby that as a last line of defence, he wasn't quite quick enough to get to it on numerous occasions, and I think that's what put him off, and he's gone away. He's definitely got quicker in the last 2 years. You can see that with the breaks that he's making. The bedrock of his game has always been taking high balls, and that's probably part of the game that's actually gone away from him a little bit in recent times. But overall, his attacking play has improved significantly in the last...
But also the law change has probably suited him, because he's got that reputation as being so good under the high ball, under pressure. Now you've taken away those escort runners being able to block. You need someone who can look after a high ball on their own at the back. It's vitally important.
Leicester have taken off their injured captain, Andrew Liebenberg, making way for Josh Mance, and the brother of the towering Tom in the second row. Here's slightly shorter Tom, Christie of Newcastle. Fifth time the Red Bulls have breached Leicester's 22. Just the one try to show for it. Benitez Cruz playing a 1-2 with Christie and skirting around a couple of tackles.
He's upped the tempo, hasn't he, since he's come on. The ball's coming away from the breakdown a lot quicker. And Leicester are going to have to be very sharp around the fringes, particularly if he pops out. He can't half move a guard and a bodyguard defensively.
Penalty Leicester, you could see that coming. Tommy Reffell's paws wandering again.
When did he lift it?
I thought he released him over and got
Tom Christie just saying, when did he lift it? I wonder if he has 2 bites at this, Tommy Reffell. He's on it there, and that's probably what he gets rewarded for. The ball comes out. It was Christie who was the man on the floor asking when the ball was lifted, but he did have it tucked into his body, didn't he?
Pardon? Excellent. Guys, I think you're going to have to take the tops off.
Surprise omission from Steve Tandy's first squad as well, said coach Tommy Reffell. New gaffer down at the Principality, tending to prefer
just wait a second.
big blindside slash number 8s rather than neat fetching specimens like Tommy Reffell. But
Sorry, Cox has asked.
I'm sorting something else out.
Maybe we should take the top off. He's delighted by that because it's absolutely freezing down there. He's going to have to start sprinting and keeping up with play for a change now.
Poor old Hamish Smells.
Yeah, time is back on. Yeah, you can go. The guys are really struggling.
Oh, he's giving you a bit, Austin. He's heard you. He's heard you. We're building tough up here. Not like you with your parka and your beanie hat.
Lacking the body fat now.
Penalty advantage to Leicester. Newcastle infringing at the maul. A freebie here for the Tigers. Searle sending it to the edge. It's a fine kick to Hassel Collins. One-on-one with Grayson. Hassel Collins taking him on the outside, looking for the pass. He was taken high as well. Mans.
Just a high tackle penalty.
As fluent and as dangerous as Leicester have been all day. Radwan now then, 1-on-3, but 2 of those are forwards. Oh. What about that for pace? Radwan just caught short. Stewart goes in to protect. Hassel Collins is still hugging the left touchline. Still thinking about another cross-fielder. Now we see those wingers come alive. This one's going up the jumper.
Another penalty advantage for Leicester, close to the line.
This is where Stewart becomes a real threat.
Here it goes, Searle. Delightful pass to Stewart. Too strong. Lovely hands from Billy Searle. And Freddie Stewart thunders home.
Well, this Searle kick couldn't have been more on the money. Curves back towards him. Grayson does really well with his defence here, bar it being a high tackle. But you thought he was in trouble with Hassel Collins, and then the pace of Radwan to get round Benitez Cruz, who thought he had him all ends up, and he just glided past him, and then that hesitation. Searle pulls back from throwing the initial pass, sees them all getting too tight, and just lifts it over the top perfectly for Stewart.
That's another try assist for Billy Searle, pulling the strings neatly in the middle and adding 2 more points. 24 points to 10, and some daylight between these teams.
Clark just bit in slightly, didn't he? Tried to recover, but that ball, a little bit like Conan's in the first half. Once you make that decision, you're never going to be able to turn around quickly enough to a player running onto it.
Yeah, you're right.
Still just 24 years of age, Freddie Stewart. He'll be 25 in a few weeks. Already approaching 50 England caps. And very much part of the furniture at Matthew Woods Welford Road. That try just sucking the atmosphere out of Kingston Park. The longer Newcastle hung in there and stayed in the fight on the scoreboard, the more hectic things would become in the stands.
I think the next score's crucial, isn't it? The Red Bulls, sorry, have to score next.
A lot of experience walking out the exit door at Leicester Tigers over the summer. Ben Youngs, Dan Cole, Andre Pollard, Mike Brown, Julian Montoya, 500 caps worth.
Has he stayed in play? He has.
Grayson's done an excellent job of keeping that alive.
He's had a good game, Grayson, hasn't he?
Staying in his 22 here.
Okay. Just looking back at that try, actually, and showing how difficult it is for Max Clark. If you're the third defender and you're numbered off 4 on 3, which they were, as you see they come out here, look, you've got 3 defenders realistically who can defend against the 4 attackers of Leicester. Clark then's got to think, right, where's the ball going? Inside me? Or is it going to the outside? He picks to try and bite in, but it's almost impossible. The only way you can stop that defensively is by one of your forwards getting out, realising actually they're not going to go again. So let me give them 1 extra defender. If you get 1 extra defender, you're man on man. And then it's quite easy to defend there. Or easier. You can't blame Max Clark for that. It's an impossible job.
Double change up front for Alan Dickens in Newcastle. Only Fletcher and Richard Palfreman on for McGuigan and McCallum in the front row.
I'm a tail.
With McGuigan off, we understand Tom Christie, in his Newcastle debut, is now the captain, to sign of how important already he has become. Leicester, meanwhile, on the hunt for a bonus point try. Serra jinking away from Benitez Cruz, sliding round to the left. Opted not to risk the pass to Hassel Collins. Whiteley and Smith. Prominent once again during the Quilter Nation series. Bailey at first receiver. Bailey getting on it again. Searle out the back. Wands. 2 men to stop him. Vance. Whiteley, awkward kick, but it's going to work out for Leicester. Morrow fending off Tom Christie. Fighting his way up to the 22. Lockwood came flying in. Palfreman it was, kamikaze style.
Leave it.
Whiteley delaying the pass. Freddie Stewart in the middle. Whiteley. Bailey, straight and hard and true.
No, leave it! Advantage.
Another penalty leaked by Newcastle Red Bulls.
New advantage.
And another.
No, absolutely not. You firstly off your feet.
There was a massive hit.
You're not pulling at the ball. That's
Billy Searle in the build-up to that, scooping the ball off the floor.
No. His hands were on the floor first. I'm assuming that you wanted this penalty, not that one back there.
I just wanted to take it out to more than 2 scores, taking the penalty, but you got 3 tries. You're in the red zone.
It's no worse than what you do.
14 points up. I think you go for the bonus point there, don't you?
Plenty of time, though.
No, it's all right. I get what your
mentioned
point
before
is.
about feeling that the next points were crucial for the Red Bulls. Just put it beyond their doubt, try and crack that last bit of resolve.
You've got 3 tries out the last 5 visits, so the red zone conversion's pretty good today.
The shot clocks have gone off.
Billy Searle's last act of the day. James O'Connor primes to come on. And fittingly, 3 more points for Leicester, 3 more points for Billy Searle, as we prepare to bid farewell to Leicester's pivot. It's been impressive again tonight, Austin, Billy Searle.
He has, but like I said, the way he plays, you can't play with him in like a second 5/8. You want to play with a cutter. You play with a cutter, you got someone direct, then they really work well together.
A little bit like Marcus Smith and when he was at his best with Esterhazen. Marcus Smith will always take that first couple of steps to see whether he can open up a hole that he can dart through. Might have counted against Smith. You know, no one's saying that Smith isn't test standard, but maybe Steve Borthwick wants the style of 10 that George Ford more is, which is sort of players that will open the holes for other people.
More of a facilitator than a line breaker himself.
There you go.
Right, first throw for Ollie Fletcher. And it just about works for Newcastle. Conan had to leap to take it. Clark and Maffey still in the final stages of this match, doing the heavy lifting. Fletcher, Conan, slick hands until that from Spencer.
Reasonable numbers. Passes, kicks from hand. I'm not saying he's had a bad game, I'm just saying that sometimes if you want width in your game, and Leicester's real strength in the last 12 months has been these two wingers. They have to touch the ball more than 3 times in the first 40 minutes. Maybe it's a tactic that they didn't want to do that and they thought the space would open up in the second half. Well, okay, if that's the tactic, give them the ball now, because currently, in terms of carrying, they're on 9 between them.
Do you think that'll change now that James O'Connor's on the pitch?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, O'Connor just loves winging it out wide, doesn't he? I mean, look at his hair. It's designed to play wide rugby. Flowing. Here comes a missed one from him for the first pass.
Let's see. O'Connor.
Told you.
Miss one. Orlando Bailey, that second playmaker. O'Connor wants it again, orchestrating already, taking on Tom Christie, former Crusaders teammates, locking horns. Whiteley. Wells, double centurion for Leicester Tigers, but he's not going anywhere but backwards that time.
Use the ball.
15 minutes for Leicester to propel themselves towards a bonus point try.
Okay, just wait to
It's been an encouraging start to life under Jeff Parling. Whiteley scoops that straight up. It's not a vintage kick. Adam Radwan's offside.
I'll just give it a second, mate, just to see what happens. I didn't see anything live. I didn't see anything live. Okay, well, let the TMO sweep. Offside.
16 Gallagher PREM losses on the bounce for Newcastle since that Saracens game this time last year.
Oh, what a kick.
Conan's gone for broke,
Yeah, no,
pushed all his chips into the middle of the table and come up with a royal flush.
Something about a tucked arm, but TM. Okay, I haven't seen it live, and then the
16
TMO
league
has done the
losses on the
sweep, but we
bounce,
haven't
2
seen
wins in 44 PREM matches.
What have you want?
Both of those coming this time last year. Exeter at home, Saracens at home. 2 out of 3 weekends in November. Not a lot for them to shout about in these parts since then. Despite that, still a healthy crowd of more than 10,000. It's a third sellout on the bounce. First time in Newcastle history they've done that. And they're doing it with a team that isn't winning rugby matches.
Yeah, sure.
It's going to be a slow burn for this Red Bull organisation, but the raw materials, the promise is there. Can they set up a more intriguing finale? No.
Number 4, straight in behind, obstruction. Number 4 clearly turns.
Way Leicester celebrate that. You think they think that's the game?
He puts himself there. You put
They've got to
there.
keep playing, but that was the Red Bulls' last chance to get back into it with enough time. You feel have to complete the job, Leicester, and make sure that they get the distance here and keep Newcastle out from coming back straight away. But that was a big moment.
For me, he puts himself there.
Goes forward, ushers in, he backs in and then allows the jumper to fall onto him, so he goes across the line, you can see, and prevents
Newcastle 14.
Leicester from getting through.
We're just making a sub.
Onto Hodgson.
14.
Liam Williams' day is done. Botha Chamberlain, the South African former Shark and Bull, on to replace him. Looks like he's going to slot in the same wing position.
Yeah, it's just pockets of things. Yeah, no problem, no.
If you were in Red Bull shoes, Austin, is he a player you'd want to keep next season? Lee Williams, he's got all the pedigree, but
no.
age, I suppose, isn't on his side.
No. Simple answer. I can't tell whether he's hurt his leg or he's just got... I used to have a player here called Jimmy Naylor. Most bowed legs I've ever seen in my life, but I think Liam might be up there. I think he knows this is his swan song.
Cool. Tom on.
I just hope he can enjoy it. Stay injury-free.
Yeah, Liam Williams, Christian Wades, you mentioned already, will be beginning his Newcastle career on Monday when he reports for training. Looking to hunt down Chris Ashton at the top of the try-scoring charts in England's top flight.
Use it!
Dozen minutes to play. Leicester keen to play those minutes at the other end of the pitch. Grayson. Conan, Lockwood, Clark again looking to find the edges. Grayson zipping it to Chamberlain. His first touch is to kick it out on the full. Plenty more rugby still to come across our channels this weekend. Of course, the Quilter Nation Series not quite done yet. The final chapter taking place tomorrow out of Windsor International. The double world champions in town in the Welsh capital, taking on Steve Tandy's beleaguered troops. And we have got every match of the rest of the Gallagher PREM live with you tomorrow and on Sunday. From Kingsholm to the StoneX,
you're number
it's all
9.
with us across TNT Sports and Discovery Plus.
And number 8. Number 8.
Jeff Parling is taking off Tom Whiteley. And scrum half making way for young Ollie Allen, 21-year-olds, youngest of the 3 senior scrum halves on the books at Mattioli Woods, Welford Road.
I've been really impressed with him the few times we've seen him come on.
Yes. Yep.
Able to
Go on,
add a little bit of zip. Real threat, picking and going himself when the guards get tired and a little bit slower around the breakdown.
He's got loads of experience in a very successful England under-20s team in the Junior World Cup South Africa last summer. And he hoists into the Newcastle skies. Fletcher, used to being in those positions.
There's one from Black and then one from...
He had a good game, Whiteley, didn't he? He's been active, busy around the pitch. I've always really liked him as a 9, busy. So JVP there to compete against. But he was telling me before the game he broke his nose last week and he's really bent it. The state of Mike Tyndall in his prime. He said, my dilemma is I'm getting married in the summer, and if you have it fixed by surgery, you can only have it done once.
What would you do in his shoes? Surgery now, surgery later?
It will be just over here.
Not get married.
Right, from noses to Quilter.
You're brave when she's not here, mate.
she's in bed.
You're about as far away from her as possible up here in Newcastle.
Is that what you were saying to me?
From Austin's, the state of
it.
Austin's marriage to those who've impressed on the pitch today.
You're asking.
Who are you highlighting?
Well, I did actually have Joe Hayes on this list as well. There was 3 from each side, but Maffey's numbers have been superb. He's carried nearly double everyone else in the team. Lockwood's done a few as well. Brett Connon, I think, controlled the game well. His decision-making's been good. I think Ethan Grayson at the back has been absolutely superb. And from a Leicester point of view, Hanro Liebenberg and Freddie Stewart, absolutely outstanding. I would have put Joe Hayes in there as well. I think he's been really good around the field.
Hold your weight. You need to hold your weight better than that. No, you can't scrum.
So, Allen takes it quickly and Joaquin Morrow.
Did he take it off his knee? I'm not sure you can.
Old school.
I'm not sure you can.
We'll have another look at that in a moment to satisfy your curiosity as much as anything else. Here comes Allen again. Reffel, O'Connor, off the chest of Cameron Henderson.
Advantages
and
there.
then Tom Gordon through the legs to Benitez Cruz and Chamberlain. Radwan and Hassel Collins got back quickly to
keep that mark there, boys.
patrol the 22.
Great kick.
Oh, it's rolled an awful long way. What's Radwan going to do here? will accept the goal line drop.
Hold on.
Yeah.
No, can't do that.
Just make sure they're behind you.
Yeah. Left one. Long left. Come here. Come there.
Three-score margin for Newcastle already looks like a forlorn cause with 8 minutes and some change left. Can they try to take something, a losing bonus point, at least from this match? Heading for a 17th league defeat on the bounce. Fletcher with good footwork to evade the challenge of Mans. Connor.
Take him back.
Straight down the throat of James O'Connor. And the Australian fancies a stretch of his legs here. The swaggering O'Connor dishes it up one-handed. Hassel Collins on the move. He looks for support. Quick ball for Allen. Oh, what a angle from Morrow. He's run halfway the length of the time. Joaquin Morrow from nowhere. But James O'Connor's wily fingerprints all over the bonus point try.
Oh, big moment. It's timing of his run. He's made two really good decisions. There's that big shot on James O'Connor, having made that little break. But he's picked a couple of great lines today for his tries.
Live, John, I was okay with it. It just takes a little while for him to come back down with the tackle, so it's legitimate good timing for me.
And job done for Leicester. Bonus point.
No, sorry, it's behind you, sorry. No, you're all good, mate.
O'Connor breaking from deep. It's what he was sent on to do. Come on and get that bonus point try.
Even if it was, we'd have played through that advantage. I didn't see it anymore.
Newcastle have conceded at least 36 points in all their games this season. 34 now.
Yep.
Just seeing how far back he started from. He starts miles back.
Yep.
The timing, it couldn't be any better, like Benny said. Look where he is. He's a good 60 metres away from where he gets the ball eventually. And then he just turns on the accelerator, recognises it, goes full tilt through the gap. That's good, isn't it?
Looks like a great piece of business for Leicester Tigers. Joaquin Morrow.
I think the story of the day, though, is just how clinical Leicester have been. They've not been in the red zone that often, but they've scored, they've been in 13 times and scored 4 tries. 13 phases, sorry, and scored 4 tries.
It's been the story of their season. Big part of their success under Jeff Parling so far. Very efficient in that opposition 22. Getting a try or a penalty from 2/3 of their visits. Up it goes from Grayson. Kingston Park's awfully quiet now. Bailey couldn't do much with it. And a rare mistake from Joaquin Morrow, confounded by the penalty.
Drive again. 2-2-2. All options. 2-2-2. All options. Hey.
For a Newcastle coach, or indeed a Newcastle fan, Ben, what can you hang your hat on from this performance?
Not a lot. I think they'll be a little bit disappointed because they're just not as competitive. You know, it's the scoreline, take that away from it. But physically, I just don't think they've been competitive enough. And usually, you know, even when they were the Falcons and things weren't going great, you'd come up here and you'd know you're in a physical battle. And I don't think there's been enough of that, particularly in and around the breakdown.
Looking to apply some physicality now. 5 minutes of this contest remaining. Ball swallowed up in there somewhere. Laid back to Simon Benitez Cruz and Lockwood. Barnstorming surge, but he has the ball stripped.
Stripped on the floor.
Illegally though, a knee was on the ground. Seventh time Newcastle have been in the Leicester 22. One try, the scant reward for it. Fletcher taps and moves it. The set play from Christie and Lockwood. Leicester latch onto it quickly.
Who's that?
Newcastle still scrambling. Benitez Cruz. Wells slows it up. Christie has a shot. Leicester offside.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I thought that might be the case.
Fletcher.
Vantage is there, offside.
Usher. Gordon waits, leaves it for Benitez Cruz. Clark and Herl caught in a two-man shot.
Get out you go! Leave it!
Benitez Cruz again, sniping, looking to link with Gordon. Lockwood. He's got through a lot of heavy duty carrying tonight. Leicester offside for the second time. Benitez Cruz has a shot, and there is the opportunity, and there is the try for Richard Palfreman. A late note of defiance for the Red Bulls, who do have something else to show for all their toil.
Well, you asked me a minute ago what the Red Bulls fans can hang their hat on. In this area they've been good, that pick and go, 5 out. Really confrontational, lovely offload off the floor from Benitez Cruz, and Palfreman follows it in, barrels over the line. Lovely backdoor offload, isn't it, as he's rotating round. Really snaps his head round to eyeball where the opportunity is, where the runner is.
Just looking at Palfreman and what he actually does before the try, look what he's just stands on the short side, just blindsides the guard ever so slightly. Rafael pushes him a little bit, not much, but then gets back in the play, spins out, doubles up, scores. Nice play.
I think we're seeing in these final 20 minutes as well, Austin, the influence that Simon Benitez Cruz has had on Newcastle's tempo and attack.
He is a brilliant scrum half. I was amazed they took him off at Twickenham. I think he went off after about 55 or so.
Use it!
Take about a 10 to bring and build a side around Albanese.
All a bit loose,
Nothing
picked up
clear
by
for
Ali
him.
Lohman, the Gallagher PREM's first Swedish international player. Leicester shifting it wide. Hassel Collins, the dink in the chase.
Stop! 21, stop!
Spencer all over it. Right, flag is up.
Yeah, no worries,
And
mate.
we can take a pause now, and Ben, you can name your Gallagher PREM player of the match tonight.
Well, if Joachim Morrow had scored his try slightly early, I think he would have made the contenders list. But for me, I think Leicester's ace in their pack has been Freddie Stewart. As we mentioned, looks like he's really back at his best, confrontational. Made that one error defensively for the try, but apart from that, he's had a really strong game. He's our Gallagher player of the match.
No contest. Entry.
There's one more try here for Leicester.
I've got entry anyway.
The penalty
No worries,
will
mate. It
help
was
them
entry
on
my
their way.
side. That's why you knocked it on. Entry. Entry.
Leicester will get one more shot. Let's go Connor to pump this down into the 5-metre channel. A little bit too far away.
The 15-metre channel.
Here, fellas.
So for perhaps the last time tonight, the Leicester Tigers with their tanks capped to Newcastle's front lawn.
No ball.
There you can see the difference in red zone
Okay.
efficiency
Time
for
on.
visits to the opposition 22.
Thanks, mate.
Double the points per visit from the away team tonight. Henderson soars to collect, and Leicester running roughshod over the Red Bulls. It's the Tigers, not the Bulls, who are stampeding tonight. And Tommy Reffel ices the cake as the clock ticks into the Reds.
Well, having given a brilliant response at the other end of the field, there's not much response from the Red Bull forwards here. Too many overcommit to the front, and then that spin and acceleration through. As soon as they've got that speed and momentum, there's only going to be one result as long as they let go of Tommy Reffel. He finds his way to the line.
We've
Too
lost
easy,
the shot
wasn't it?
clocks in here.
It was a side that knew that they were
Yeah, and there's
beaten.
normally a one in the corner over here as well, but Hughley, we've lost the shot clocks in the stadium, mate. Okay, have you got time?
Orlando Bailey will line up the last act of the
Hughley?
match. It's all smiles for Adam Radwan, once a local hero in these parts, now playing the role of party pooper on his return to the northeast. Bailey's kick strikes the near post, but as far as Jeff Parling and his victorious Leicester Tigers are concerned, it makes little to no difference whatsoever, because this has been a professional, a composed and an assured away victory as the Tigers maintain their early season momentum in the Gallagher PREM, and Newcastle's losing run stretches to 17 league matches on the bounce. Another frustrating night for those of a Red Bulls persuasion, for a sellout crowd who turned up here. They didn't have much to shout about once again. It is Leicester's night in the Toon as it finishes at Kingston Park. Newcastle 17, Leicester 39.